Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, nothing new to report on the price front. We're still waiting for Bitcoin to start moving upwards. Some people are saying there are still further CME gaps that Bitcoin could go down and test. We'll see what happens. But regardless of the micro movement here on the daily and hourly, from a macro perspective, we're headed to new all-time highs. And I believe we're going to see a rally sooner than later. So the market's going to do its thing here. We just got to be patient. But we do have some macro factors that could have an impact on the market in a positive way. For example, this week we're going to hear from the Fed. Wednesday is the FOMC hearing, and Jerome Powell is expected to talk about rate cuts. Now, he's gotten some pressure from President Trump and the administration recently, and I posted on X today. I believe that he's not going to cut rates. They're not going to cut rates now, but he could signal with some dovish statements that they will potentially cut in September. And remember, markets are forward looking, so that could really spark a rally because they know rates are coming. It's kind of the buy the rumor, sell the news event. So let's see what happens on Wednesday, folks. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, but this is my prediction. But a lot of the prediction markets out there, people are betting no cuts now, but they are betting cuts in September. So once again, we just need the signal from Jerome that they are going to cut in September, and then things could get very interesting for the market. I love what Lynn Alden shared today, and that is the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, released their borrowing estimates, $1.6 trillion in net new debt issuance over the next 2 quarters. About $500 billion of it is in the Treasury General Account refill. So they're doing kind of a pseudo quantitative easing. Janet Yellen was doing this under Biden. So it's the same thing over and over. Nothing stops the money printer. This is why we're invested in assets, and we're invested in the fastest horse, Bitcoin and crypto, in the asset race, right? Nothing moves like Bitcoin and crypto, not real estate, not the stock market, not precious metals, and so on and so forth. But we are in a macro bull market, and all of these asset classes, real estate, much more, is following global liquidity. That's why you're seeing new all-time highs for all of them. It's across the board. Not a lot of people understand what is happening. They may see, for example, real estate going up, but yet home sales are down. The reason being global liquidity is going up higher, and all these assets are getting priced in that higher liquidity, right? If you understand the economics of what's happening here. But the same thing continues. Governments will continue to debase currency and print more money, and that's going to drive up global liquidity. But however, they do go into their quantitative tightening cycles. So these are things you have to be prepared for and think about and follow the macro cycles. Watch the Fed. This is why you got to be careful with narratives, because people will come tell you bull market's never going to end. It's going to keep going on forever. It doesn't go on forever. And just look at this, folks. Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett, they are in one of their largest cash positions right now. Warren has done this before major bear markets and huge market crashes. Like he did it in 1999 before the dot-com bubble. He was in a huge cash position. He did it in 2006 ahead of the 2008 financial crisis. He did it in 2021 ahead of the 2022 bear market. And now he's in a very large cash position. So you can imagine he's ready to buy the blood on the streets. It's what I've been telling you guys. Bull markets don't last forever. There's going to be a lot of people pushing narratives, but they won't give you data. They'll just say, no, this time's different. ETFs, legislation, ISO 2022, and whatever narratives they decide to come up with, right? That the market must continue on and on, but history is not on their side. So folks, I hope you appreciate all the different factors I share with you guys to give you a full view of the market landscape. It's important to look at all these things. It's why we track global liquidity. And folks, if you look at the Federal Reserve's website with the M2, look at that. The chart's going parabolic. And it's not only the Fed, but you got central banks around the world, which are injecting liquidity, and that's driving global liquidity higher and higher. Now, as we've been monitoring, global liquidity is topping out right now around October, early November. So this is where, as I said in yesterday's podcast, I believe the blow up top will be around then. Plus, you have crypto legislation will be passed, the market structure bill. That's a huge narrative. And you got the delay in the US China tariffs, and that has been pushed back by 3 months. So that puts us in October. So multiple factors here signaling potentially the top could be in that zone. So let's wait and see. And something else that's interesting, you're starting to see big names, hedge fund guys, and much more coming out, starting to talk about investing in crypto. They usually do this when the rallies are heating up and starting to get close to the top. It brings in more liquidity. So look at this. Ray Dalio suggests putting 15% in Bitcoin, gold amid US debt doom loop. So Ray has said this before, right? I remember in 2020, 2021, now he's back again in another bull market. Now he's not wrong, but the only thing, when you put these narratives out there, people who don't understand market cycles, they could be left holding the bag, but he's not wrong that you should diversify and hold these assets. He's absolutely right. And I think it's smart to do that, but the timing is also important. Now, if you're, let's say, buying now and you're like, I don't care, I'm going to look at this from an 8 to 10 year standpoint, then you're fine, because the market will correct and then it will continue higher as global liquidity continues to rise. It's just the cyclical patterns. And if you have a very long-term view, you're fine. The dips don't even matter because your time horizon is so huge. So very interesting, Ray coming out. And we got an article here that Trump eyes moving U.S. economy further into crypto via mortgages and 401ks. So I covered these news items over the past month or so, but it seems that we could hear about it with the White House crypto report that's going to be released this week. Bo Hines had tweeted out about that. And we know that the housing section of the government, they already stated they're going to look at crypto for giving mortgages via Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So that's a huge win. And then Trump has been talking about opening up 401ks and retirement accounts to be able to invest in crypto. I think that's coming, folks. So you could see a lot of capital open up, and it will be really amazing to see this play out, especially as crypto legislation is passed. So see the timing of all these things, right? It's all culminating to this massive bullish narrative, and it will lead to a lot of liquidity. But as always, bull markets don't last forever. There will be a top, and then things are going to have to correct. It's just the cyclical patterns of markets. So it's not about being emotional. It's about the facts and what has played out historically. Now, folks, on the 401k front, you can get ahead of that by setting up a self-directed IRA with iTrust Capital. iTrust Capital allows you to get these tax exemptions and benefits by setting up an IRA. And they also have a great custodial service called a premium custody account where you can safely store your crypto. Right behind self-custody on a hardware wallet, I believe this is one of the safest options. They're using top-tier bank custody. They're also using Coinbase's Prime institutional custody, which BlackRock uses. So it's top-tier security, right? You don't have to worry about, well, who's the custodian and all these things. So you can get the benefits of an IRA. You can get the custody of your crypto assets, and they support 80 plus crypto assets, folks. You can buy, sell, trade in your IRA account. So iTrust Capital, I have an account with them, and they support, once again, all the top assets, Bitcoin, Solana, XRP. And you can buy and sell crypto 24/7. There's low cost and no monthly fee. So folks, a great option here if you want to go the 401k IRA retirement route and get the tax benefits. Because, when you sell, you're going to get hit with capital gains, but there's certainly a big option here if you want to go this route. And folks, if you sign up with MyLink, you can get $100 funding bonus, and that is itrustcapital.com/thinkingcrypto. The link will be in the description. Check them out, folks. It's a great option, as I mentioned, and I'm a user of the platform. Now, Huge news around PayPal. We know PayPal has gone all in on crypto. They offer the ability to invest in crypto on both PayPal and Venmo, and Venmo is owned by PayPal, of course. Well, they've expanded their crypto payments for US merchants to cut cross-border fees. So the new feature supports over 100 cryptocurrencies and major crypto wallets, aiming to simplify international commerce for US merchants. Folks, this is a massive on and off ramp because if you can use your crypto to spend with many merchants, that's really great. Now, I do believe the US government has to update the tax laws so that you're not hit with a capital gains type of transaction. I think Senator Lummis has tried to introduce legislation to get this done, where certain transactions below a certain number will be tax exempt. So the feature connects shoppers' crypto wallets and allows them to spend their digital assets while the merchants receive US dollars. The company aims to offer cheaper, faster cross-border payments than traditional card payment methods. So you see the ramp up here, right? And on their X profile, they shared some screenshots, and you can connect your respective accounts from Coinbase, Binance, MetaMask, Kraken, Phantom, OKX. Huge on ramp here, folks, and you can do a lot of really cool things. So I love it. This is bullish. PayPal is a massive payments giant. They have their own stablecoin as well, PYUSD. So they're all in on crypto. Yet there's people out there who say this is all a scam. They don't understand. They just read headlines. They haven't taken the next step to educate themselves instead of reading headlines. So folks, count yourself lucky you're here early as these big players are building the infrastructure for this technology and asset class. Now, look at this. Circle, they announced today they have formed a partnership with FIS Global, one of the largest financial technology companies in the world, to bring support for USDC stablecoin and payments using Circle platforms to their large franchise of financial institutions and banks. Another massive infrastructure on ramp here, folks. And, look who it's for, not necessarily retail, but financial institutions and banks. So banks are going to be using crypto in many different ways. Some are going to launch their own stablecoins. We've heard about that. So it's really bullish to see news like this, folks. Really, really big. Now, Bakkt, which is owned by the parent company of the New York Stock Exchange, the Intercontinental Exchange, they are selling their loyalty business and will be pivoting to pure play crypto, offers shares as well. So Bakkt, they were a powerhouse building crypto in late 2018. They were partnering with Starbucks and much more. But due to the regulatory uncertainty the business was facing, it was Operation Choke Point 2.0, it was Gensler and all these guys attacking crypto. It really slowed things down for them. Plus, I think the wife of the owner of the New York Stock Exchange or the Intercontinental Exchange had some political things going on. So it really hurt the business overall. And it was so promising because once again, they were partnering with Microsoft and Starbucks and much more. But now it looks like they're trying to find their way. But, other players have come in and they've built and leapfrogged them essentially. So Bakkt has sold its loyalty business for $11 million. The firm also announced a public offering of Class A shares and or pre-funded warrants to buy Bitcoin and fund working capital. So let's see what they come up with. I don't know how well they're going to do, but they were off to a great start and they lost a ton of momentum. And now it looks like the business is struggling and they're trying to find a way. But let's see, maybe they're able to make a comeback. Folks, so Trump's Truth Social Bitcoin ETF among multiple crypto funds delayed by the SEC. So good to see the SEC is not playing favorites here. They've delayed Grayscale, Bitwise, even Trump's Truth Social Bitcoin ETF. And much more. I'm not sure what the delay is. I personally think with regards to the altcoin ETFs, the SEC is waiting for Congress to pass the market structure crypto legislation. But we'll see what they do here. Maybe they approve it in September. I don't know. It's hard to tell what's happening. I'm trying to get an interview with SEC Chairman Paul Atkins and see what we can discuss. But at least once again, they're not playing favorites. They're just delaying everything. And it could be, they're waiting for September, maybe closer to when the market structure bill is passed into law. Folks, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. A great way you can support me in the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It's 100% free. It's on Substack. Check out my book on Amazon. It's available in paperback and digital. And check out my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you every aspect of crypto. Knowledge is power. Expand your knowledge to learn what is happening with this technology and all the different facets of it. So once again, to go to mycryptocourse.com. The link will be in the description. Folks, thank you so much for watching and listening. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.